I think it's issue 78 of the beloved Gamesmaster magazine without the cover. Oh well. Oh look, Mario's having a party. Yes, this is an arc back to my childhood. Well, I say childhood, I'd probably be looking at between 13 to about 15 maybe, so late 90s. The Ridge Racer Type 4. It hadn't even been released yet. That's how old this magazine is. On the original PlayStation preview, Marcus Hawkins. They had like basically a Ridge Racer Pacific wheeled type controller. Not got one, but did I play on one? I'm not sure, but I did see one once in a second-hand shop, so they're probably still about. But yes, this is showing its age. This is 1999, I think. So yeah. Oh yes, speaking of which, there it is. The little wheel on the joypad. No initiative now these days with computer games. Everything is just FIFA this and FIFA that. The Nintendo 64. Such a glorious games console. I think this was coming out. Oh, Smash Brothers had just come out in Japan when this was previewed. So yeah, the original Smash Brothers on the original Nintendo 64. In other words, one hell of a time ago. Speaking of which, does anybody ever seen a Nintendo 64 disc drive? Because I'd love to see one in person. Again, the original Mario Party on the Nintendo 64. So this is probably 1999. This Gamesmaster magazine was released. Nice bit of artwork for you artists out there. Running Wild. Not sure about this one. Never really came across it. I did actually have the original PlayStation, so some of these games I did actually used to play. But this was the time when roughly the Dreamcast had just, well, was coming out. And all the Gamesmaster was going mad about the Dreamcast because obviously it was Sega and is thinking, yeah, they're back. This is going to be like the Mega Drive of its day. Sadly, it wasn't. Virtual Fighter 3. TB? Tuberculosis? Who knows? Yes, I had a friend I used to do martial arts with, and he actually purchased a Dreamcast once they stopped selling them in, I'm not sure if it was Curry's or Comet at the time, and he got like the unit plus like 10 games for like £100 here in the UK, £100, which wasn't too bad. Very unusual setup with the controllers, because you had like a memory stick that goes in the controller, but like it had a screen on it, so you could actually take it out and play little mini games on it. I think the PlayStation had one as well called the Pocket Station. Legacy of Kanan, Soul Reaver. Again, didn't play this at all. Probably came across it on an PlayStation official demo disc, but not, I recall. Sega Rally 2. I am so going to get a PC gaming rig. And the one game I want to play is Sega Rally. I just don't know. It looks more realistic now than it has done since the dawn of time. I think it's probably because that these screenshots were all rendered and obviously made to look really pretty and nice. But then, you know, you come to actually play it and it actually still looked pretty and nice. There was actually doing a competition one of the months, and basically it was like win a Dreamcast and a few games, and it was like you had to draw, and this guy won it, and then he went on to go study art at university. Kudos to him, boy. Right, so yes, the original Shadow Man on the original N64. Heard of it, never played on it. Bloodlines, again, never played on it. Carrier. I think this was like going to be like a Resident Evil slash genre slash game that people would play. It was basically on a aircraft carrier. Like I said, at the first, Dreamcast seemed very promising. A lot of the PlayStation 2 games like Resident Evil 2 and Dino Crisis was ported quite quickly over to the Dreamcast. Obviously, the Dreamcast being a far superior in terms of speed and obviously power at the time, although it still lost. Yes. Quick preview. Mario Golf, Buggy Heat. Castlevania in 3D. As you are aware, I own a 3DS. I'm actually going to try and get into a Castlevania game sometime this year, mainly because I want to see what's all the fuss about. It doesn't say what date this is. I have just seen it. February 1999. So yes, boys and girls, if you're watching this from TikTok to YouTube, this magazine is older than you, especially if you was born after 1999. X-Wing Alliance, PC gaming. Never got into PC gaming apart from obviously the original Commander and Conquer. Although there's probably some Star Wars nuts out there who's probably played every single PC gaming, well, every single Star Wars game. Played this at my local Odeon / bowling alley. Very weird. It's like you had this controller and you was meant to like fight Vader with it. Wouldn't it just be handy to like get a Wii remote? I don't know. But yes, quite a nice game. I always find arcade gaming, I just cannot play it. I just get thrashed every time I play it. Screenshots and the actual gameplay was almost identical. But saying that, it's like short and snappy, I should say, gaming rather than prolonged gaming. That was a visual memory unit, I believe. So what basically is that's what used to slot into the Dreamcast controller. Tomb Raider 3. I played 2, completed it, got a PlayStation like 2 or 3 years later. I think I was learning to drive. I couldn't complete Revelations to save my life. It was so bloody difficult. Someone's gone and bought me a Raspberry Pi as well. So therefore, I'm going to have to try and download Tomb Raider Last Revelation just to play it, because obviously it's one less Tomb Raider game. So anyway, I had given me a 3DS a few years ago. And this guide, I kept it because I knew one day that I might play on the Ocarina of Time. So yeah, this came in handy. This was a very handy guide. Obviously, there's slight differences in the gaming. Although, if I look back now, I would have preferred to have had a Majora's Mask guide. And did this go all the way through? I think it did. So that was pretty much, what I wanted. Even though one of the pages have ripped. Oh well, never mind. But yeah, quite happy with that. Star Wars Rogue Squadron on the original Nintendo 64. Again, never played this. Don't really play much of the Star Wars games. Probably would like to be honest. Although Battlefront 2 looks quite interesting. Although I'd probably get whacked every 5 minutes. Max Power Racing. They certainly had original ideas for gaming on the original PlayStation. Devil Dice. Again, never played it. Puzzle game. Yes. PlayStation Power, Future Publishing, no longer with us, unfortunately. Kenshi, Sacred Fist. Oh, you apologise. It's been a long day. Fighting game on PlayStations were all of the range, although everything was shit apart from obviously Tekken 3. Hetrick 2, never heard of it. Penny Racers. Again, it was like the Micro Machines type gaming for the Nintendo 64. It wasn't very good. Viva Football. Not a football game. I played Actual Soccer 2 on the original PlayStation, but that's about it. Wargasm. I hope that doesn't sound different when I re-listen to this. Basically, it was a PC game. They were all pretty much the same back in the 90s. It was either RTS or Doom clones, as we might call it. Thief. Talking about my childhood there, so let's carry on. Advertisements. PC Gamer. SimCity. World exclusive review of SimCity 3000. Yes, boys and girls, we are that long into the tooth. Again, another football type game. I think this one was where you're from like a third party view. So good if you had like loads of people playing, but bad if you was playing on your own. Monkey Hero and Blood 2. Again, never played on it, never came across it. You know, some of these publishers are no longer with us, which is a shame really, because what they could do now on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, whichever one it is, games consoles, probably do quite well, although games development is quite different from when this was released to now, bearing in mind that both of them needs millions of pounds just to get off the drawing board, although mobile gaming is a little bit better to get into, although I've never played on a mobile game apart from the original Sonic. But yeah, Aku the Heartless, again, platformer / game, never played it. Let's see what we else have we got. This looks like basically games that was released. So at the time, the Nintendo Game Boy, which I had an original one, that was Tetris DX. So the Game Boy Color would have been out. And again, other little bits and pieces regarding this. So Asteroids, Rival Schools, Sensible Soccer, 31% on Sensible Soccer. No wonder. Very, very old game. Ah, yes. Nintendo 64 magazine. So basically, Gamesmaster had a little like preview of the Nintendo 64 that morphed into its own magazine. Good for the Nintendo fanboys. Most Wanted. The PlayStation 2, followed by the Dreamcast, followed by Sonic Adventure, followed by Resident Evil 3, then Metal Gear Solid, blah, 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 blah. Ah, yes. Zelda 64 was just beat into the top slot of the UK top 10 by FIFA 1999. Tomb Raider 3, V-Rally, Spyro was there, and Crash Bandicoot. Japan's top 10, Zelda 64, USA top 10, Zelda 64, Metal Gear Solid. So pretty much sounds about right. I like this because you could write in reviews of your games and they would actually review it, well, print it up, I should say. So yes, Final Fantasy 7, Resident Evil 2. I couldn't write for save my life. I mean, I'm terrible at this. Yes, so that was the Dreamcast pad, and that's where the visual memory unit used to be put into the controller. They basically even reviewed games controllers, although now it's quite different. It would just be a case of Nintendo Joy-Cons, and that's about it for Nintendo. Film Psycho. It's well, Total Film, I should say. Psycho, the film. A lovely picture of Denise Richards when she was younger, and Gillian Anderson, Terry Pratchett, and Catherine Zeta-Jones, Clint Eastwood, Michael Caine, Sean Connery, and of course the classic Steve McQueen. But yeah, a little bit of reviews on that. 1 second. Sorry about that, folks. Anyway, so as I was saying, yes, just normal gaming malarkey. But yeah, quite an interesting time. There was actually reviewing websites at the time. Yes, folks, it's that old. Ah, yes. Now, which one did I have? I don't think I had South Park. Don't think I had Turk. I think I had Tomb Raider 3 and Wipeout. But Wipeout 64 was coming onto the original Nintendo 64. So yeah, there you go. Issue 79. He's back. Sonic, 1st of March. That was going to be released. Ah, yes. The Dreamcast. Ah, what a shame it never succeeded. Had a good launch cycle, though. Look at all them people wanting to get queuing up for it. Such simpler times. But yeah, that's my little review of Gamesmaster from 1999. See you soon, folks.